Greetings again. This is Bruce Armstrong and Betty Frick. We are both volunteers with the Longmont Senior Computer Tech Center in Longmont, Colorado. We are associated with the Longmont Senior Center, and we provide all kinds of tech help for seniors with devices and computer issues and all of that kind of good stuff. And this is a series of videos that we put together for navigating through the Google universe, where Google offers you some freebies for applications and stuff. And we've done Google Docs and we've done Google Sheets. And now we're going to do Google Slides. And I'm going to share my screen here to show you where we are right now in this process. This is video 9 in the series, and we have jumped into Google Slides, creating a new presentation, and we've gone through all of the others with some basic information, and we're just going to talk about creating a new presentation in Google Slides today. So that's where we're headed on this, and this is a tool that you can use. I mean, it was designed like PowerPoint in the Microsoft world, or where people put together slides for their business or whatever, but we seniors use it for different things. We use it for photo albums, and we use it for putting together family histories. And I know Betty's done some interesting stuff on that, and some of the other people in our community have done some legacy kinds of things with PowerPoint and with slides, and this is just an easy way to do it. So we're just going to jump in here, and I'm going to show you how to get into it, first of all. And we've gone through that a little bit in every one of these particular things. And I just want to make sure that I'm sharing my Google screen. Is that what you see, Betty?
I do see that.
Okay. So that's kind of where you start, is the google.com thing. And you can go into their little 3x3 dot thing up here of the Google apps in the upper right-hand corner. And you can click on that and get all of their things. And there's always a couple of ways. You can go into Google Drive, or you can scroll down till you find Google Slides, which is the actual app. And that's the way we're going to do it today. We're just going to go into that. And as you see, what they give you is, oh, do you want to start a new presentation? You can start out with a blank, or that has some templates, your big idea, a photo album, a wedding announcement, or a portfolio. There's all kinds of things you can use this for. It's really quite an interesting thing. And so I'm going to do a blank one just to start off with. And if you're familiar at all with PowerPoint, you kind of have to wipe your brain out a little bit, because it's the same stuff, but you got to look for it if you're used to where PowerPoint keeps everything. But it's similar in the fact that you've got what I call the film strip over here on the left, which will be all of your slides that you create. Then it's got the current slide that you're in up here in the center. And then you can select themes that you want for your things. You can, do a simple one. You can do this. This is one that I always thought was a pretty one that you could use. But back in the first parts, when I was using PowerPoint and you'd use one of these, printers didn't really have the color capability, and you could waste a whole thing of color printing ink doing one presentation if you wanted to print it out. But it's great when it's on the computer. So you can do that. This one shows you that you got different types of things you can put in here. It suggests a big title with maybe your name or your date or something in here. You can title your thing. You can say that this is a new slideshow, and I'm going to say January 2022. Well, I can't type. This is always going to be the case with me with fat fingers, and we've just put something in there. Okay, that's what your slide looks like. That's your cover slide. They always want you to do a cover slide, but then we go over here to the left side and we can pick the next thing we want to. The infamous right click is something that I emphasize to anyone working with a computer is if you want to know what I can do, you right click on something because then it'll usually give you a menu of what you want to do. So if I right click on that thing on the film strip, I can say new slide, duplicate slide, skip slide, change background. I can do all kinds of stuff to it. But what I want here is a new slide. And since I picked a theme, it's going to give me my next slide with that same theme, that same black background and the little blue and aqua sort of triangles up there. Then they give you the options here. This is the kind of thing that you'd use in a presentation. You might say, you know, this is summary. That's always what you got to do at the beginning of a presentation, isn't it? You know, and then you go down and click into the other box and you can say item one. Come on, type. I can't get to the one. There we are. And if I hit enter, item two.
Hey, Bruce.
Yeah, go ahead.
Can you number those?
Yes, I was going to say, typically in PowerPoint, it's going to automatically make them bullet points. But in slides, it does. Well, I'm trying to move the whole thing. I just want to I want to take the mouse and I want to highlight them. See, how can I do that? Get to the top, then I can highlight them. And then you got all of this stuff up here at the top that you can do with things. And you can do borders and all of that kind of good stuff. And it should be one of these up here that we want to say format. And we want bullets and numbering. And I'm going to pick bullets. Let's just call them bullets. Bulleted list. And come on, I have to pick one. So I'm going to pick the first one, which is the most common one. And obviously it puts the bullet points up there. And then if I go to over here to the left again, and I right click on it and say new slide, it's going to give me the same kind of a thing. But I can change that. I can go, where is it? Apply layout. There's where it is. And I go over here, look at all my choices. You know, I've got my title slide. I don't have sections, but I could have had sections. This one's title and body. That's the one we're dealing with now. Here's one with title and 2 columns. You know, if you had something, you put maybe some bullet items in one and a picture in the other or something like that. The title only, that's a good one if you're really creative and want to draw something in there. And 1 column text, a main point. That's a real good thing in a slideshow, by the way. Put in a slide that says, now we're going to talk about such and such. And you have a main point. Section, title, and description, a caption, a big number, and a blank. I use blank a lot. And then let's call it blank. And then I can do something like the insert key up here says, what am I going to do? I'm going to insert let's say an image, a picture. Where do I get image? And I'm going to upload from my computer. And again, we're dealing with Google apps. Everything has to be uploaded from your computer to the cloud. So let's go to pictures. And let's get a nice, pretty golf course picture here. And I've got a picture on a slide. So that's how you create it. And let me just tell you, this is another little glitch in the difference between Microsoft and Google, is that when you open and created a new one, it didn't title it. It called it untitled presentation. But here we're going to say test slides. And just name it. And that's your file name. Google automatically saves everything as soon as you do it. Say if I add another slide, you can do a duplicate slide if you like, and look up there real quick. It says save to drive. That's going to go away really quickly. But if you're not looking for it, you wouldn't see it. But it's if you click on it, you can see the document and say its document is ready for offline use. All changes have been saved to drive. So all your changes have been saved. You don't have to do what Microsoft does and say save the file. It will automatically do it. When you first do it, it's kind of irritating because it saves stuff and you say, I didn't want to save that. I was just testing something out. Well, then you got the undo button up here in the top. This undo button, what did we do last? We added a slide, right? So if I do the undo button, it took away that fourth slide. So that's kind of the basics of creating a slideshow. We'll get into some of the more details in the next couple of videos, but that's all we have for just the actual creation of a slideshow. Any questions? Anything right at this point, Betty? Or
No, I know we're going to cover more, but
yes,
I think that was a good introduction.
okay.
And I will say this, that for the most part, I do like the templates that Google gives over better than the ones for PowerPoint.
Okay.
I've looked at them and I thought they're usually cleaner, than the ones in PowerPoint.
Well, it does take getting used to a little bit when you first make the jump over to using Google Slides. But my experience, and I don't want to be too critical of Microsoft because they've done some great things, but Microsoft always gave me too many options, most of which I could care less about.
Right.
So that's basically it for that. So
okay.
Thanks for joining us on this, and we'll get you in the next video.
Bye, Bruce.